Welcome to the Hollywood Heroine podcast. All things pop culture, gossip, Kardashians, Real Housewives, reality TV. It's an addiction and we want to talk about it all. New episodes every Wednesday, and follow us on our Instagram account at the Hollywood Heroine with an E at the end. I want to hear what you guys have to say about the crazy pop culture world we are obsessed with. What is up, everybody? This is the very first Hollywood Heroine podcast. This one is a solo dolo podcast, but we're going to try to have some guests and some special friends along the way on the pod to recap some of our favorite shows. Just right off the top, I just want to let everyone know we are obsessed with Bravo, anything Bravo except for the Below Deck show and anything Summer House, Winter House, Fall House, anything like that. We don't watch it. I don't watch it. So if you're a Housewives fan, this is all for you. If you're a Kardashians fan, this is all for you. Pop culture, anything like that, we're going to be discussing here in the pod. So stick around. First, I just want to talk about, we are in the final week in Jan, and the news just came out that our girl Riri is preggy with her baby with A$AP Rocky. And I have to admit, I feel like some of my Drake and Riri dreams were a little crushed, but ultimately, I'm so happy for her. It seems like she really has wanted to start a family for so long. So we're super happy for her. What's to come from her? Apparently, we're getting new music, but I don't know if there's going to actually be new music now that she's preggy, or maybe the album will be about her being a mommy. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but that's super exciting for any Riri fans out there. So we have a lot to talk about in the podcast. This is a busy week for Bravo. We have probably one of the most fire episodes of Salt Lake City ever. It's said that Lisa Barlow has solidified her position in the Bravo fandom. Crazy episode. We're going to talk about that. And then we also are going to get into Real Housewives of New Jersey, which is premiering tomorrow. This podcast is dropping on the 31st, season 12, and we're going to be talking about that a bit later in the podcast, so stick around for that. But first and foremost, I just want to say quickly, the shows, I want to recommend some shows to you guys too as you're listening to this podcast. Shows that we're watching right now or just finished. Paris in Love. If you're a Paris Hilton fan, you're going to love it. If you're not, don't watch it. It's such a good time though, watching her get married. I got married this year, so just seeing everything sort of lead up to her big day. I think they had like 3 weeks to plan it or something crazy like that. I'm not a huge fan of Paris Hilton. Obviously I watched The Simple Life. I'm sure like most people did back in the day, but loved it. It was so funny. We get to kind of see her man. So I was just excited to see like what he's all about, who is Carter, and I really want to know what you guys had to say. So I did a poll on our Instagram at the Hollywood Heroine. Almost 80%, 90% of you guys said that you guys loved him and that he's super cute, super chill guy. I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say further because I'm going to give my honest opinion right now. I loved him in the beginning, and then as the episodes went on, it felt like he was a little controlling. He was kind of like, we're going to go here, and make sure you're ready, and make sure you're this, and be here on this time. And I understand that like she's a little crazy, so she probably needs that structure in her life, but he seems like a little controlling. And then like his wedding speech was like, his best friend said like, yo man, don't you remember you were obsessed with her? Like back in the day, like you were in love with her and like now you have her. And I was like, what? Like I thought they just met like recently. And so I don't know. Obviously she's Paris Hilton. It's hard. I'm sure it's hard for her to like trust people. But yeah, that is the tea about Paris in Love. You get to see a bunch of the housewives are on it when they do her shower. Garcelle, Dorit, Kyle's obviously in it as her aunt. So it's just a good time to see like a bunch of celebrities. Demi Lovato like performs. So yeah, I would definitely say give Paris in Love. I think it's on Peacock and they're all out now. So you guys can just kind of like binge it and stream it. The next thing I'm watching, and I'm sure a lot of people are watching this too, obviously Euphoria on HBO. It's the second season. It just started. I think we're 4 episodes in. And I do love it. It's very dark and it's very depressing. And it makes me feel like I was a very, very innocent child in high school. It's still so much fun to watch. Obviously, their outfits are crazy. The acting is amazing. The storylines, love Rue. Nate is just a freaking crazy, crazy guy. But yeah, I would definitely say give that a watch. I do feel like, and I think there was an article released this week, and I was actually talking about it with my friend, and we were just discussing how the show sort of like glamorizes this sort of high level of partying. And like, we're not talking like doing, weed in the bathroom and like hotboxing the shower. We're talking about like heroin, meth, just like crazy drug experiences that are shown in like drunk driving. And I was just saying, I was like, damn, like if you're like a 16-year-old kid like watching this, and like, you know, kids now, like they can get their hands on a stream and they can watch it. It's just so, I feel like it just depicts the wrong image of what that time in your life is. It's obviously just like hyper glamorized, and it's just not real. But I do feel like at the end of the day, it's a TV show, and they need to still make it like a fire TV show and a lit TV show. So they're going to do what they're going to do. But how much onus is on the production team and the writers to sort of make sure that they're not making this look so cool? And obviously, like, there's the Euphoria filter where like everything just like looks amazing and like purple and like warm and sexy. And that's not real life. So there is a little talk right now on the internet about, you know, what do they do to sort of tone it down a little bit? You know, it's HBO. They're going to do what they're going to do. There's going to be wieners everywhere. We just saw that in this week's episode. So they're going to keep doing what they're going to keep doing. But yes, I would definitely say recommend Euphoria for anyone. And then, yeah, let's get into what we really want to talk about, which is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And this podcast, I'm going to release it every Wednesday, but this one specifically because it's the first episode and we're just jumping off like the craziest Salt Lake City episode. I just wanted to get into it real quick and sort of give you a taste of like what these podcasts are going to be like. And I also want to hear from you guys. So like shoot me a DM, comment on the Instagram. I want to have you guys even on the podcast so that we can have like a live commentary about these episodes. So Salt Lake City, this was crazy because it was basically the promos for the last like week and a bit. Everything on my feed was Lisa Barlow, hot mic. It's like the new thing is like this whole hot mic idea, which I feel like sometimes is a little bit ridiculous because it's like you know you're being recorded. You know you have this 10-pound thing sitting on your waistband or on your bra strap, and like you know you're mic'd up. Now in the heat of the moment so let's break this down. So the episode starts, everyone's like, yay, like awesome, like this is amazing. We're like in Zion and we're feeling the vibes of the desert. So they all sort of like break off into their own groups. And then we see Whitney and Jen on like dirt biking, which was so cute to see. And like also the weird thing is like I feel like no one's really talking about what's happening with Jen. Like this huge thing happened in the beginning of the season and she got arrested literally by the FBI and production was like suspended. And we're still really not talking about it. Like Jen's kind of just like floating by. Whatever. For this moment, I really don't care because the amount of drama that came with Lisa Barlow at the end was enough. But everyone sort of like breaks off into their own groups and then they regroup later on for this Cinco de Mayo party. So cute. Everyone's like wearing like red outfits and like I'm like, okay, the tequila's gonna be pouring. This is gonna be like a good night. But I was like, when is this hot mic moment? Like when is it gonna happen? Because they're all at the table outside. So the hot mic moment looked like she was in her room. So I was sort of waiting for her to like, when is she gonna like storm off? Like what's gonna trigger her? So okay, we start the scene. Cinco de Mayo, everyone's like lit. The food looks amazing. The first thing actually happens is with Jenny and Mary. And Jenny was like, oh, the husband's paid for this, like whatever. And then Mary was like, oh, why are you talking about the husbands though? And then Heather like kind of chimed in and Mary was like, you don't even have a husband though. Like you don't have a husband. And like Heather's like, what? Like she's not even being rude to Mary. She didn't even like instigate or nothing. Like we all know how like chill Heather is. And that was it. Like shots fired, let's go. Like this thing is starting. Like after that, the music was like do 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 do. Like it didn't stop. It kept going. And of course, like Mary's just sitting back there, like freezing her ass off, but like she's still taking shots at everyone. And Heather's like, I didn't even do anything to you. She's like, what the hell? Like, do you think I don't know that I don't have a husband? Like, it's very clear that I don't have a husband. And then of course she spins it and she's like, well, you married your grandfather. So like, calm the F down. And then here we go. Like the whole Cinco de Mayhem name, it's like it's starting from this point and then it kind of like goes like around the table. So then they kind of like chill out for like a hot second. And then Lisa chimes in and Lisa brings up the fact that like no one is there for her. She's like, I've been a friend to everyone and like I'm amazing and like da-da-da, like no one's here for me. And she's like, I just keep getting like railroaded, like whatever. And then Jen starts to like yell at her and she was like, no, she's like, you're not consistent, you're only friends with Meredith. You're not this, you're not that. She's like, you should have been consistent for everyone. And then Barlow's like, yeah, but I am. I'm still like such a cool person. And then Mary chimes in again after she went to get her jacket, which by the way, she refused to get a blanket for anyone else. So she's like, y'all bitches can go and like freeze. She comes back. She's like to Lisa Barlow. She's like, you're fake as fuck. Like, you're so fake. She's like, you eat fast food. She's like, you eat Taco Bell and I can't take you seriously. And Lisa's like, what? Like, why are you coming from why was Mary even coming for her in this moment? Like, the fight wasn't even nothing to do with Mary. And then, yeah, they just kept going back and forth with each other. And Lisa's like, I'm a good friend. And Mary was like, no. And then, of course, Lisa at this point brings up the fact that Mary's church is like a cult. And she's like, no one even believes you. She's like, no one even comes to your church. She's like, your church is even real. She's like, people have been talking shit about you, like all this stuff. And then Mary's like, no, my church is real. She's like, Whitney, didn't you come to my church? Didn't you see all these people there? So yeah, as this is all happening with Barlow, I think Heather starts to chime in and she's like to Jen, she's like, Jen, can't you see that like Lisa's trying to be your friend? She's trying to like be there for you. Like, can't we just like move forward? All this stuff. But again, Mary like chimes in and then somehow Jenny gets pulled back in and Mary's like, I don't give a crap about you, Jen. Like, I just don't like you. Like, you're whatever. And then something weird really happens. It kind of shifts back to Meredith about her being there for Mary, but her not being there for like Lisa and Jen. And then I guess Lisa starts to get more angry with Meredith, but it's kind of not being shown because we're kind of still focusing on Mary and Jen, like two people that we don't really give a F about. And it's like, we just want to focus on like when this hot mic moment's about to start. And then all of a sudden, it cuts to kind of like the commercial, but then it comes back and then it's Lisa running, kind of walking to her room. And you can already start to see the captions. And she is in her room at this point. I'm assuming she's talking to someone because she is popping the F off. Like, she is going off as if she's like spewing it to someone. I thought for a second maybe she was on the phone with her husband, but there's no sort of like reaction. There's no one saying anything like as she's popping off. I'm just gonna repeat what Lisa Barlow says in this hot mic moment. And I'm doing hot mic because I'm doing them in quotations because I also want to discuss that Meredith Marks was questioning whether this was even a hot mic moment. I'm going to read you guys what Lisa Barlow was saying on the hot mic. Meredith can go F herself. I'm done with her because I'm not a effing whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and her dumb effing family that poses, why don't you own a house? Oh wait, you can't because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes. Meredith is a piece of effing shit. I had your back and I'm offended by that. F you. That effing piece of shit, garbage whore. I effing hate her. She's a whore. She effed half of New York. She can go F herself. And that is like, okay, if you're talking to yourself in the mirror and you're popping off, like that's a long monologue to have. Like the things that you bring up and it's like, what, you're just staring at yourself and you're just like popping off and like you're just angry at Meredith. So for sure, like as she's saying it, like I'm thinking she's talking to a producer or something. I feel like she might have still been talking to a producer and she's popping off. So we see her say this. We don't see her say it, but it's like the caption and it's like her door. And then she has the audacity to open the door and she throws the mic pack like at the producer or the camera, like whoever's standing outside. So I think, okay, so then she does that. Before the episode aired, Meredith basically commented on a photo from my girl at CC Loves You on Instagram. You guys should follow her because she has some great Bravo content. So CC posted a photo of that whole like situation and Meredith replied saying, why do you think this is a hot mic moment? And it's called hot mic. If you guys don't know, it's called a hot mic because it means that the person wearing the mic forgot that the mic was left on. Therefore, it's like still hot. So it's still like an active mic situation and they potentially don't know that it's still on and they're popping off. So Meredith Marks is like, why do you think this is a hot mic moment? And CC Loves You replies and says, because it was not said on camera. If that is not true, please feel free to clarify so I can adjust my post. Meredith replies back to her, you can watch and make your own decision after seeing it. I have my opinions. Okay, bitch. Like, well, you know what your opinions are, obviously, because like you're trying to be all like intriguing and shit. But like this was before the episode. So then we watched the episode and like it all makes sense now because like it wasn't like Lisa said like, oh shit, like the mic's still on me. Like the way she storms out of the room, it was like, here you go. Like there's your content, you know, like this is going to make the clip. This is going to make the teaser. It's like she knew that. So I get why Meredith was saying that. It kind of does make sense. Regardless, it was a freaking crazy moment. Regardless, you still say these things about your friend and like, fine, let's say they set up the situation. Let's say it was like all fake. she says things about Meredith that we had no idea about. Like, she says things about Meredith that, like, you effed half of New York, like this, that, like, those are things that like you would never say, I feel like, if this was just like a made up moment that like Meredith and Lisa Barlow like came up with. So I definitely don't think it's a fake moment. I don't know if they're friends right now. It sounded like after the reunion, everyone was fine. So honestly, I don't know how you can ever come back from saying shit like this about your friend. Like, you insulted her family, you insulted her husband, like saying she effed half of New York. Like, it's just, what she said was crazy. And also, like, he was just angry. Like, it was like, I get it. Like, Meredith, like, maybe she hasn't been the best of friend to you right now, but like, to pop off like that, it was just very, very next level. So anyways, I want to hear from you guys after watching this episode. I know it probably just came out and like everyone has to go to work, but when you guys watch it, send me a DM, send me a comment, and let me know what you guys think about this. Like, does Meredith have a point? Was this truly a hot mic moment, or was this sort of played up by Lisa Barlow? Honestly, she's not stupid. Again, those mic packs are not light. They are kind of heavy and they are bothersome. And again, like I was saying, like, if she was in a crowd of people and like she popped off and the mic caught her, I get that, because you're kind of in the heat of the moment. But like, she walked away minutes later, closed her door, went into her room, and like she popped off. So I do feel like in that time she would have known that she was wearing a mic, or like it would have come to her and been like, I'm actually mic'd up. Or she had someone else in the room with her and the producer was like, go off, sis. Like, we don't know the situation. Whether or not, whatever, hot mic, cold mic, whatever it is, crazy moment. And I do definitely feel like Lisa Barlow just solidified her position in like the Hall of Fame of the Housewives, because I don't know, other than slut pig whore, I feel like this was even worse. And this is worse because like they were best friends. Like, Lisa and Meredith are like very, very good friends for like 10 years. So like, this is a very different situation. That was obviously the craziest moment. That was the moment that we were all waiting for all week, because we're seeing the promos. And then I don't know, you cut back to like the dinner table and like you just don't really care about anything anymore. And then yeah, we basically cut back from that moment back to the dinner table. Meredith is still there, Heather's still there, Whitney's still there. I think Mary might still be there, but Mary's still there. Jen. And then yeah, Meredith basically, like, here's the part where like Whitney kind of annoys me sometimes. Annoys me, but like, you do definitely need her in a show like this. She always loops back. She brings that like conflict back so that they can talk about it at the table. Like, she doesn't let it go. She's like, remember when you said that? We didn't talk about that on camera. So like, let's do it. Which, you need someone like that, right? Like, she's like pushing the show along. She brings up Meredith's issue again. The issue that they think that Meredith lied about her dad's memorial, and like that's why she wasn't there the day that Jen got arrested. Like, I don't even know why we're still talking about this, really. Like, can we talk about like the elephant in the room, which is Jen Shah got arrested by the FBI? Like, who cares about Meredith not coming that day? Like, nobody fucking gives a shit. For you to question the fact that like she lied about her dad's memorial, like, okay, maybe it wasn't the memorial, maybe it was just her grieving and like she just didn't want to come that day. She didn't have the energy. Like, she clearly sounded so defeated and so sad on that phone when Lisa calls her. Like, whether or not there's a memorial or funeral or whatever service, like, just let her be. And so Whitney pops off and she's like, we're thinking that like you made it up. And right then, you know, Meredith goes off, and I would too. Like, she just lost her dad. Don't come for that one thing. You can come for anything else, just like don't come for that one thing. And then Meredith like is like, okay, goodbye, good night, see you, puts her chair back in, and she's like, peace out. And she's like, I'm not doing this, and she walks off. And then Mary's like, yeah, I'm leaving too, because Mary can't stay there without Meredith. And that's how sort of the episode ends. And Whitney's like, what did I say? Was it about her dead dad? Like, yeah, bitch, it's about her dead dad. I do feel like Meredith gives up a lot. She gives up too quickly. You're on a reality show now. Granted, let's not talk about like, you know, dead parents. Like, that's a whole nother situation. But like, there's a lot of moments where Meredith's like, I'm disengaging. Like, she is the disengager. Like, she does that. But you're on a reality show, so like, we need you to be here. We need you to be present. We need you to be open with like certain storylines. And she is. But I would not be surprised if like she didn't come back for the next season. And I think she is coming back. But again, like, I wouldn't be surprised, because I'm like, I feel like she's just kind of over it. Like, she's over having these conflicts and these conversations and these moments. That's kind of how the episode ends. I don't know what's gonna happen. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about it, and what are your thoughts about Meredith, the whole dad situation, and then Lisa Barlow's hot mic moment. So be sure to comment, DM us at The Hollywood Heroine. We want to hear from you guys. But that's Salt Lake City, and I think the season's almost done, and I can't wait to see what the reunion sort of has in store for us. I'm not even gonna get into the whole Jenny thing. That's freaking crazy, and I don't even know what's gonna happen at the reunion with her. Let's just leave that until we see what the F happens. Let's move on to New Jersey, probably one of, no, it is. Let's just be real. Like, it is my favorite franchise. Beverly Hills is my second. Salt Lake City is definitely vying for the third. So yeah, so Jersey is definitely my favorite franchise. I've watched it since the first episode, the first season. Like, I'm talking like legacy viewer here. Like, the Manzos felt like an extended part of my family. Like, I was obsessed. Obviously, like the whole like Teresa family drama. I mean, it was just so good in the beginning. It was so good. Those first like 2-3 seasons, Jacqueline's family, the Manzos, you had Dina. Like, Dina was in it. Like, I wish Dina would come back, even just for like one season. Dina was on it, and then she like dipped real quick. And then there was a couple of seasons like in the middle where like there were those weird twins and Siggy, whatever the F her name is. I don't even know. Like, I erased those seasons from my memory because like they're the seasons that we shall not ever talk about because they were just so fucking shit. We're back to Jersey. It definitely, I mean, obviously, like, you know, they hype it up all the time, but like, it definitely seems like the season where I feel like friendships are going to be tested. And I know we always say that, and I know they always like hype that up, but like, truly, I feel like last season was pretty neutral, aside from the fact that the whole Gia cocaine thing, like, that was absolutely ridiculous. But otherwise, it was okay. But this year, it seems like Marge and Teresa are gonna have like a huge blowout. And Teresa even said like half the girls aren't invited to my wedding with King Louis. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for her to like move and like see a new house. And by the way, check out our video on our YouTube. We do like house tours of celebrities, and we did one on the Housewives, our top 5 iconic Housewives houses. We're gonna do more, so comment and let us know like which other Housewives houses you want to see. But yeah, go check out that video on our YouTube channel. I'm really excited to see Teresa's like sort of new life, you know, like her life with King Louis and like their new house. And Gia's like in the confessionals now. Like, she's like probably like almost getting to like full-time housewife cast member. It's gonna be interesting, right? Because like, it's gonna be interesting to see these kids who we've seen like as babies almost become like cast members, like full paid cast members. So yeah, so we'll get Gia, we'll get Teresa's family. The Gorgas are always there. You know, I still pray every day for my angel, sweet Kathy, to come back and grace us with her delicious desserts. I loved Kathy. I know a lot of people didn't like Kathy and they kind of found her a little boring, but I loved her. Anyways, that was a side conversation. But yeah, we have a lot of new things coming. I'm really excited about Dolores. I'm like, solo dolo. Let's do this. It doesn't seem like she's solo for that long because she does have a new man right now. And so she left that doctor guy. So I'm excited for her storyline too, because like we never got to see him. And that part of her life was never really shown. So I'm excited to get like new content from Dolo. And overall, just like excited about her vibe, because I feel like she's just, it's her time to shine. Definitely. We got Dolores. We have Jackie. You know, Jackie's just Jackie. Jennifer is freaking crazy, but I love her Instagram stories. Like, I'm obsessed with her IG stories because she's full like vlog mom, and her kids are like cringing. Her one kid, Olivia, like loves it, obviously. Freaking love that girl. But the other ones are like, Mom, like turn the fucking phone off. Like, you're such a weirdo. And I'm like obsessed. Like, I love watching her stories in her like ginormous house. And she's just so crazy and quirky, but it's cute. So I'm excited to see that friendship with her, because her and Teresa seem very close right now. So I think that's like another sort of dynamic that we want to like see more of on RHONJ. I don't know. I'm excited either way. Like, RHONJ, there's a reason why it's like the top franchise. But yeah, let me know what you guys are excited about for RHONJ. It's coming out this week. I'm gonna try to do another episode this Wednesday, just so that we can be like hot, fresh, like new RHONJ episode. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let me know. DM me, comment below under this video, on our podcast, wherever you can find us. Let us know what you guys have to say. I think that's it for right now, guys. This episode is gonna go up real quick, and then we're gonna have another one on Wednesday so that we can discuss the RHONJ episode. I hope you guys enjoyed our first one. It's kind of all over the place. I tried to keep it as concise as I could, and we want to have special guests for you guys each episode. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram at The Hollywood Heroine. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes. So give us a follow, give us a review if you enjoyed it, and let us know what you want to hear, because I will talk about it, and we'll have you guys on and we'll talk about it. So stay tuned for more content. Bye.